been an interesting fallout of the Delhi terror blast in which many Kashmiri doctors were found part of the terror plot. The newly established Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Institute of Medical Excellence in Katra has now come under scanner after it came to light that 42 out of its 50 seats went to Muslim students, 7 Hindus and 1 Sikh. Now this has sparked protests from Hindu groups, even BJP, arguing that a college funded by Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board, which relies on donations from Hindu devotees, should prioritize Hindu candidates or be declared a minority institution. Groups like VHP, Bajrang Dal, Shiv Sena, Dogra Front and Vaishno Devi Sangharsh Samiti have staged protests. While retrospective cancelling of seats cannot and of course should not take place, Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has now raised the stakes by saying that the school's grants should be stopped by the state government and it should return the land given to it before being changed into a minority institution. BJP delegation has meanwhile met Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha and Union Minister JP Nadda seeking intervention and a review of the admission process. But should Omar Abdullah's logic then be extended to other minority institutions that also run, in many cases by boards or a trust, but continue to get government grants? Jamia Millia Islamia in Delhi, for example, has been given government land for expansion despite being a minority institution. St. Stephen's College in Delhi has received government land for expansion. Anjuman-e-Islam in Maharashtra has received government land for educational purposes for their own schools and colleges. Apart from this, AMU is a historical university that received land during British times, as did St. Stephen's. Would it be okay to demand that land back, that they now operate as minority institutions? In fact, it won't be incorrect to say that each and every minority institution in India continues to receive and has received in the past some form of government help or funds. So should that be stopped too? Madrasas, for example, in India are funded by state governments in many states. All of these institutions continue to receive massive amounts of state grants. Omar Abdullah is in fact the same chief minister who has on repeated occasions supported Islamism over secularism in the valley. Just last month, he had objected to singing of Vande Mataram in schools, saying he did not authorize the celebration of 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram and there should be no, quote, outside dictation on such matters, no interference in the governing of the union territory. In September this year, on vandalism of the national emblem at Hazrat Bal Shrine, he had defended it, saying the first question is whether the emblem should have been etched on the stone. I've never seen the emblem being used in any religious function, so what was the compulsion to do so? He even demanded an apology for hurting people's sentiments. He really didn't question about the fact that people resorted to violence or the destruction of the flag. He suggested that government emblems should only be used at government functions. But here's the catch, he conveniently forgets that government money was spent on the renovation of that dargah. Did he object to government money being used? As much as 40 crore rupees have been spent on that shrine to refurbish it. So even as the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister says, give the land back, the question arises, why does he not have support for Kashmir's minorities, Hindus in this case, even though minority institutions around the country continue to receive state support? That's coming up.
अब जिन बच्चों ने इम्तिहान में नंबर हासिल किए, नंबर के बुनियाद पर एडमिशन लिया, आज उन्हें सिर्फ इस बात की सज़ा मिलेगी क्योंकि उनका मजहब जो है अलग है। ये ना कानून इस बात की इजाज़त देती है, ना हमारा आइन इस बात की इजाज़त देती है, ना यूनिवर्सिटी की अपनी पॉलिसी।
ये अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा एम्पायर और सनातन के साथ जुड़ी हुई गतिविधियाँ, हमने सुझाव दिया कि अगर कॉलेज है या अस्पताल है तो सभी तो नहीं, लेकिन माता के गरीब भक्तों का कम से कम इलाज में को थोड़ी सी छूट आप दे जाएं।
Let's go across to Abid Wani, leader of the Jammu and Kashmir National Conference, joining us. R.S. Pathania, BJP MLA, will be also with us. Abid Wani, the statement that has been made by the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, he can, of course, be upset by the fact that certain groups are demanding that this institution be declared a minority institution, etc. But, this threat that you have to give us our land back, or the land that was allocated by the state back, or return the funds or cancel the funds that we ever gave you. If we applied this logic, there are so many minority institutions in the rest of the country. Their funds should also be stopped then. Why only this institution?
In the premise of the debate, I must explain you the whole fact about the controversy. Very much in the genesis of this institution, the way it was brought up, the bill that was, that resulted in the formation of Shri Mata Vaishno Devi, it never granted a minority status. So when it's a state-funded institution, be it Shri Mata Vaishno Devi institution or any other institution, as you rightly pointed out, it will be a violation of Article 29(2) if the state denies admission
Abid,
to
that's
any
exactly what I
particular
said,
group,
that there are many, many minority institutions in Delhi, in the Aligarh Muslim University till today get state grants, right? And this institution must also be getting state grants. I'm not denying that. But it is largely funded by shrine money, right? All minority institutions get some sort of help from the government, either a state government or the central government, or they have received land parcels in the past via governments. So, this threat, if this was to be applied pan-India, minority institutions of all kinds will suffer. So, I'm not understanding why he has suddenly thrown out this threat. He may have a problem with it being declared a minority institution, that's fine. But is it fair for him as the chief minister of the state to say, oh, give us our money back and give us our land back?
I don't think it's a threat. What should we be bothered about is the threat looming over the future of the students that were meritorious, that have literally passed out a national examination entrance without any biasness in the religion. What if the case was vice versa? If Hindus were at the number of 42 and Muslims were at number 7. So I think this whole controversy is politicization of education. Education is not a zero-sum game divided by religion. One community's gain can't be checked in as another's loss. So I think this whole issue erupted just for some pity, groups. They are trying to politicize the entire issue, the BJP, the VHP, or the Bajrang Dal. Because, when you bring in faith, when you bring in devotion and piety, and, you're actually having bigotry and masquerading it as piety. That's what it is all about. So I don't think the debate is about getting the land back or getting stopping the donations. It's all about bringing some sense into the controversy that, look, here are 42 students who have qualified the national entrance examination. The very bill, the genesis of this institution calls for merit-based admissions. So there's no question of, denying admission.
Okay, no, I understand that. This is a retrospective demand that this institution should be made a minority institution. So I acknowledge that at the time of its setting up, it wasn't a minority institution. So certainly no harm should come to any student who has so far been selected, Hindu or Muslim or any religion. But I have with me the BJP representative as well. What do you make of the allegations that the NC is making that, BJP or other Hindu groups are only raising this to kind of communalize the whole institution? Clearly, this institution was not set up to be a minority institution. Just because post facto you figured out that majorly Muslim students are taking benefit of the medical seats there, doesn't mean that you now demand its cancellation.
Yes, Shivani, first of all, a very good evening to everybody on board and all the viewers also who are directly viewing your show. So let's clarify some things. Let's try to split the hairs. Mr. Omar Abdullah is trying to confuse, National Conference trying to confuse and confound the situation. That's not the case. Let's go, first of all, at the very root of the issue. Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine is a popular shrine not only in Jammu and Kashmir, not only in India, but across the globe. In 1988, the management, the assets, and all the endowments and all appurtenances included with the shrine, they were taken over by the Jammu and Kashmir Sarkar by virtue of a brute majority, by virtue of a law passed by a legislature. Our question remains, once this shrine basically is this shrine and one hospital, the employees of the shrine and this hospital too, but this university too, this thrives not merely solely, I'll use the word solely, on the offerings of the devotees of Shri Mata Vaishno Devi, then how come the state control? This is very sweet and simple. Now, with regard to this aid, which Mr. Omar Abdullah has been parroting every now and then, let me first of all clarify. The 2,000 crores, this fund has been placed at the disposal of this medical college by Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board. And it started it as a small bait in the corona times, because at that time pilgrimage was not moving. So they wanted something to pay their employees and all that. So it started with 10 crore, 20 crores, and a total of only 128 crores has been given by granted gate, that even which Jammu and Kashmir Sarkar might have got from the central government also. So 2,000 crores is one part, and 128 crore is still the granted aid. We can return that also. That's not the question. My question is, how come the Jammu and Kashmir Sarkar then narrate and parrot the lessons about Constitution, Article 14, Article 21, Article 22, sometime about Hindus and Muslims? Very sweet and very simple. This is not Hindu versus Muslim. Absolutely not. This is the case that how come and what constitutional basis the Sarkar in Jammu and Kashmir and any other particular state also has over the offerings of the Hindus.
Okay.
It's very
No,
sweet
but
and simple.
the question that Omar Abdullah is asking right now is that when this board, when this college was set up, it was not deemed a minority institution. Then you get that tag, that certificate, and then you can do what you want. But he's saying, give us our money back. So are you willing to do that?
We can give, Shivani, I said 2,000 crores given by the Shrine Board, and 128 crore that even Bharat Sarkar granted it. We can give that back also. You see, this is only the tip of the iceberg. My lead question remains, how come Sarkar take over illegally and unconstitutionally, not only take over, usurp the entire Shrine Board by virtue of a law passed by legislature? Where come the state? Once it's a shrine, Hindus are making donations, Hindus are making offerings across the world. So we had another issue also, that why don't you speak of the temples and the Hindu shrines which have been vandalized during these decades of terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir? This fund would have been utilized there. This fund should have been utilized for creating a permanent corridor for Sharada Peeth. So this fund would have been used for resuscitating, for rejuvenating the poor indigent devotees of Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board, for treating poor and indigent ones also. So this should have been for Sanatana awakening. This should have been for Sanskrit programming and for Sanskrit.
But why isn't the board doing that? Does the responsibility not lie with the board?
That's what the board, the board is the Sarkar. Sarkar has illegally taken over the Shrine Board.
Okay.
This is not.
Let Mr. Vani respond on this.
Before 1980, this was governed by the Dharma Trust.
No, so this is anyways a pan-India problem where Hindu temples
That's
are
a
under
pan-India
government
problem.
control. Hindu temples
This
funds
is a
are
pan-India
used by
issue.
government, but they're not really used for Hindu causes, though that money becomes secular. But no minority fund or institution can ever be secularized in India. Mr. Vani, the
That's
problem is exactly this. Had it been, for example, this is all happening in Kashmir, let's not forget, because Kashmir is a Muslim majority country. A Muslim majority state. If in any other Hindu majority state in India in any other Hindu majority state in India, Chief Minister would have said that, okay, you want to run this as a minority institution, you give us our land back, you give us our money back, then do whatever you want. How would that look?
Look, Shivani, first of all, Mr. Patania was saying all about the controversy. It's all semantic divergence. First and foremost, we should all, very much relate with the fact that the admissions are merit-based. It's the NEET examination that has given these 42 students the legal, the moral, every authority you talk about, the constitutional authority to get an admission in this institution. Because this institution lacks protection under Article 30, it's not a minority status institution. So that's the first thing. So leaving these 42 students or even the 7 students, 7 Hindu or 1 Sikh student aside from this controversy, let's focus what all is going on. The VHP, the BJP has submitted a memorandum to Honorable LG, who heads the Shrine Board. When he says the Sarkar is the Shrine Board, is the LG who is the chairperson of the Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Board. So why all this fuss is now being created or post facto action is being taken when suddenly this controversy erupts when 42 Muslim students go selected right through the merit? What's the problem in it? If you have problems within the board, you can pass a law in the union, issue an executive order through the LG and take whatever you want to. But for now, this is not a minority institution. We should stick by the constitution. and the
So,
constitution
no, my
says-
question is, if tomorrow it becomes a minority institution, will the Jammu and Kashmir state government have the view that we will not help you or aid you in any way?
Well, I think public aid. If definitely this institution needs public aid, then it should be equality in public too. All faiths and
But that's not
sects
the
and
case,
all-
Mr.
But
Vani. That's not the
there are
case in
exceptions.
minority
There might have been
institutions
exceptions.
across the country. St.
Well,
Stephen's
there-
College receives
Well,
95%
minority
of its grants for various purposes from the central grant. It is a minority
Shivani-
institution. Tomorrow, should the
Shivani,
Indian
even the
government say
minority
we will not fund
institution-
minority institutions?
Shivani, even the minority institutions, which are primarily funded by Waqf or something in the Muslim, I'm talking about the Muslim cases. In general, wherever you see public aid to an institution, they reserve a 50% or a 40%
No.
quota for the minority students, and the rest is open for all to compete. When it's a question of merit, we should all, accept.
So
what
that's
the
what I'm
results were.
saying, that tomorrow if this college becomes a minority institution, the attitude displayed by the CM is then we will have nothing to do with you. What if all states took that view? What if
Well, I
Aligarh
don't
Muslim
think
University
it's-
stopped getting any support from the state? Or what if central government said we will not give you any grant or any aid just because you are a quote-unquote minority institution? That is the question here.
Well, this is very much a hypothetical question.
It is
a
hypothetical, but he has
yes,
raised that question by
hypothetical. You do not have a
suggesting
categorical
that he
answer.
wants the
But
land
yes,
back and he wants the state funds back if this institution becomes minority institution tomorrow. It's the attitude
there's
of
a
the
big-
chief minister that is questionable.
Well, I don't think the chief minister meant to go in that line. But
Okay.
definitely, it's an answer to the people who are, unwarrantedly, creating this whole controversy and
Okay.
letting these students perish.
Okay, no student should of course suffer because of this, whatever the future of this institution may be. But the attitude that a state government needs to have to any minority institution is also an important issue. I leave it at that. I do thank